if you guys don't mind, in the chat box, just drop if you're a BA or an aspiring BA in the meeting at the moment. I mean, just to give me like an idea if I have my people on here or not at the moment. And can everyone see my screen also?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay.
So yeah, please put aspiring BA. You just for I'm an aspiring BA, either one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I might not be able to see that at the moment. So yes, as I said earlier on, good evening once again, good afternoon, good day from anywhere you're joining across the globe. My name is Tomiwa, and you can call me Tom, and anyone works for me at the moment. I mean, yeah. So before I start, so I would just want to give a brief introduction about what this background means to me. I'm sure a lot of us have heard about business analysts. Some people might understand what business analyst is.
Tomiwa, can you tell us a bit about yourself first? Then before we dive into the BA, let's get to know you. Yeah, we've heard your name, Tomiwa. Yeah, pleased to meet you. Yeah, let's just get to know you.
Okay. All right. That's part of my slide already, so I can just
yeah, sure.
Okay. So yeah, basically, I'm Tomiwa. I'm a business analyst. I'm currently based in the UK. I've been able to work across diverse sectors for financial services, consulting, and also public sector. I've worked on diverse projects from digital transformation to process improvement, change management, just to mention a few. My background, basically, my undergraduate background was in like BSc accounting. And then from that, I worked as an accountant for 6 years with a global firm, was back in my home country, Nigeria. And then when I moved to the UK, I became a business analyst where, I mean, by God's grace, I've been thriving for the past over 5 years now as a business analyst working across different organizations. Currently, I'm based in Manchester, United Kingdom. And yeah, hello, can you hear me? Yes, so that's me, and I'm also here today to speak about business analyst, how I got into business analyst, also to encourage people who are looking to transfer into business analyst, become business analyst as a career or as a hobby. We all are business analysts anyways. So yeah, my presentation today, I've termed it as becoming a business analyst, leveraging transferable skills into a thriving career. So on my agenda, I'm going to talk briefly about how I became a business analyst, who is a business analyst, what do business analysts do when they are in action, also what are the essential skills and tools to master as a business analyst, or if you want to become a business analyst, and also breaking into business analyst without the UK experience or a tech degree, which is one of those questions people ask every time. And lastly, on my agenda, I just have my closing remark. So as I mentioned earlier on, my journey, I started off after my undergrad. I started off as an accountant. Then I worked as an accountant for 6 years. And one thing for me was during the 6 years working as an accountant, at some point I became bored because it was just huge, like normal routine. But one thing that kept ringing in my head every time was for everything I get to do, my daily job at the global firm I was at then, I keep asking this question: how can we improve this? I wasn't just satisfied with the fact that I just have to just come up with balance sheets, you know, the normal FA and stuff that accountants do every now and then, reporting on accounts and figures. I wanted to solve problems behind them. I just wanted to understand how can we improve processes, how can we make this operation seamless. And after 6 years of doing that, I woke up one day and I said to myself, I needed a change. I did just want to report on problems anymore. I wanted to solve real what business needs through process improvement and technology, leveraging technology. So not just documenting problems as I usually do as an accountant or reporting on outcomes, but fixing them. So that was the year 2020. So I decided I needed a change. And then the first thing I did was to look for how to transit into this new change I wanted to do. For a fact, I would say, as at that point, I never knew what business analyst was. And I just sat down my system, carried out research, said, okay, I want to move to the UK. And the only path for me other than was to enroll for my master's. Then I said to myself, okay, what course am I going to study? Then I kept on researching. As I was researching the courses, I was looking at, okay, after the course, after the master's, when I'm done, what are my options in terms of job? And then one what's it called? Word that came on Google every time I searched was business analyst roles. So that led me from moving as a board accountant into a thriving business analyst, where I moved into the UK January 2021, studied business intelligence and analytics, graduated, and prior to 3 months before my graduation, during my dissertation, I got introduced to a senior BA in the UK here, and who I spoke with and said, oh, this was my plan. Once I'm done, I want to get a job as a business analyst in the UK. And he said to me, do you have a prior experience before coming to the UK as a business analyst? I said, no. This master's is just what I'm leveraging on to get a big job, to get my first job as a business analyst, sorry. And he said to me, I remember clearly that he said, you need practical hands-on experience to work in the BA industry. Whatever you've been taught in your master's is just a theoretical part of it. You need the practical part of it, because there are terminologies you need to get accustomed to. There are ways of doing things in the BA industry you need to understand before you can get your job as a business analyst in the UK. So that led me to attending training, both in person and virtual. I volunteered on live projects just to bring myself up to speed and understand what is expected of me as a business analyst. And I did a lot of self-development. And from there, I landed my first BA role, basically. Then I'm going to move on to, sorry, Kenny, I was supposed to ask, are people meant to ask questions, or when I'm done with the presentation,
so we don't interrupt.
They're meant to ask questions?
Yeah. When you're done,
sorry?
So we don't interrupt. When you're done, they will ask.
Okay, then how many, what's
minutes,
the time slot, sorry?
The question is 5 minutes, yes.
10 minutes.
Yeah,
okay, so I'm going to just rush through then. Yes, so that's my journey from being a board accountant to a thriving business analyst. So we've heard about, I'm sure a couple of us have heard about business analysis. Some people don't really still understand. I've got my friends who ask me every now and then, say, this business analysis you're doing, what's it all about? What's it all about? But the funny fact is, right, I think everyone as an individual, one way or the other, we are business analysts, because basically every blessed day you wake up and most of us plan our day, how we want our day to be. Maybe a day before or the same day, you just want to schedule your time. You need to be at some particular point. If there's going to be any obstacle or any hindrance not achieving your goal for the day, you find a way to provide solutions to it or eliminate those blockers. So basically, that's what we do as a business analyst. I have here 3 definitions of a business analyst. This is not a comprehensive list. This is just like some key points, just to define who a business analyst is. So the first one here is, I said, a business analyst is the strategic translator between the business and the solutions. Basically, what we do as business analysts, we're always serving as an intermediary between the business and the technology team. So basically, business will always have needs, and how those needs are being met is by providing solutions that address the needs. So as a business analyst, you work with the business and also work with the technology team to ensure that the needs of the business are attended to by providing tailored solutions that bring forth business growth and outcome to achieve the business objective. Number 2, I have facilitator of stakeholder alignment. Basically, as a business analyst, you're going to have a lot of stakeholder engagement. You're going to engage with different people, because stakeholders are the key people you're going to be working with in every organization, every environment to find yourself. You're going to talk to people who understand what they need, but they don't even know what they want. So you need to ensure that you align with them in terms of their pain points, in terms of providing solutions to what their needs are, and also making them understand what they really want, not what they really need. So at every point, what environment for yourself as a business analyst, you're going to be doing a lot of stakeholder alignment. And lastly, I've got problem solver using data and process analysis. Yes, you're going to leverage on data a lot, because and process analysis, one of the things you're going to be doing as a business analyst is you have to understand the historical data sometimes regarding depending on the project you're on, or depending on the environment you find yourself, you're going to be leveraging on use of data, understanding the process of each organization, because I mean, no two processes are the same. You need to be able to understand what is the fundamental process of each business or organization, and profile a tailored solution to those processes by helping them to improve it. Also leveraging on data based on historical data they have, and also what you can pull around to solve the problem they are currently facing. So as I said, this is not a comprehensive list. A business analyst, it's a versatile person, I'll just put it that way. But whatever environment you find yourself, this could be things one way or the other, you're going to be doing that. And so I just have like a diagram here just to depict that what we do, serving always in the intermediary between the business, the stakeholders, and technology. So a BA in action, yeah, what do a BA do in organization anyway, find yourself? Basically, from request to reality, what I mean basically is from the moment you put on the project, you're assigned to a project or a task as a business analyst. For the purpose of this overview, basically, this is just addressing the SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle, right? There are diverse projects you can work on as a business analyst. I'm just using this as a use case because of time. So if you're assigned, for instance, to a software development lifecycle project, you're expected to go from this phase, from the initiation phase, where you're going to be gathering your requirements, understanding the business case, working alongside the key stakeholders who you're going to be you have to keep informed, communicate with constantly, ensuring that there's no communication gap. Then from the initiation part, you move to the analysis, where you carry out your process mapping, gap analysis to understand the as-is to the to-be states, which is also called the current state. Then from there, you move on to the design phase, where that's the future state, where you prefer solution designs, user stories, and then also move to build, where you implement. That's when the implementation comes in. You're going to work with the cross-functional professionals, development team, from the developers to the testers, to the designers as well. Basically, you're going to be working with them, building the solution you guys are coming up with to address the business needs. And the last phase here is the deployment phase, where you go live and benefit realization to the business. Sorry, I'm rushing because I've got 10 minutes. And yeah, essential skills and tools to master. It's pertinent to mention that there are two different types of business analysts. There are more sometimes, but the two key ones are the business analyst, which is the generic business analyst, and the technical business analyst. Depending on which way you want to go, for business analysts, the skills required of you are basically, you need to be able to understand what requirement gatherings mean, what you do, or how do you manage stakeholders. As I mentioned earlier, there's no successful project without the stakeholders. So you need to be able to understand how you manage your stakeholders, the process analysis, analyzing where the current state of the organization or the current state of the business need, and preferring solutions to achieve their future states. And also documentation. Yeah, there's a lot of documentation, because you're going to be facilitating workshops, doing interview, meeting stakeholders one-on-one to elicit requirements. Documentation is a very important skill you need to have. Communication as well, you need to be able to communicate professionally, because at the end of the day, you're going to be working with both technical or non-technical teams. So you need to be able to communicate to each individual, tailor your communication language based on their preferences, based on who they are or their class, they classify them either by technical way or not technical. You need to be able to communicate effectively. And critical thinking is very key, because at the end of the day, as I mentioned earlier on, over the past 6 years being a business analyst, I've come to realize that oftentimes they're not. Businesses might understand what they need, but what they think they need might not be actually what they want. So you need to be able to think critically, convergently, divergently as a business analyst, ensuring that whatever solution you're providing address the need of the business. And on the other side, as a technical business analyst, what you need to be successful as a technical business analyst is all the BA skills. In addition to that, you need to understand the technical architecture, system architecture, basically data modeling, system integration, API understanding, SQL and database knowledge, if you want to go into that direction of being a technical business analyst. And in terms of the tools, as a BA, you need to have what's it called? Understand one of these tools here. When I mean one of these, in between Jira and Azure DevOps, because you're going to be using that to manage your project. So Jira comes alongside with Confluence, Azure DevOps, MS Office Suites, the Word and PowerPoint and so on and so forth. Then also the Visio and Little Chat. These are basically used for process modeling. So you need to understand that as well, because you're going to be leveraging on that when you're mapping out your processes. In terms of Miro, Balsamiq, and Figma, yes, mock-up designs, I mentioned earlier on, there's a part of solution designs. You might be lucky enough, you meet yourself in a team where there's a product designer who's going to come up with the designs, but sometimes that might not be the case. So you need to be able to at least make use of these three, is either Miro or Balsamiq or Figma, to come up with mock-up designs to attach to your requirements. And for technical business analyst tools, as usual, all the BA tools is essential. You need to understand your SQL and all those database tools. Postman API testing is very essential as a technical business analyst. And also all the dev environment tools are very essential for you as a technical business analyst. So breaking into business analyst without a UK job experience or tech degree, I've broken that into 4 sections. The first key thing here is skills. I know a lot of people, oftentimes when they're making that decision of relocating to the UK or trying to change a job, where they maybe, I mean, people are open to changing now and then when they get tired of what they're doing currently. And everybody sometimes just wants the tech money, right? For business analysts, the first thing I have here is skills. All you need to do, basically, you don't have a tech degree before you become a business analyst. You need to reframe your transferable skills, problem solving, communication, analysis, whether you're from finance, HR, operations, etc. Basically, what that means is whatever skills you have at the moment are transferable. I mean, for every role, I think you have to solve a problem one way or the other. You communicate with people already, so you've got all that already. So you don't need to shoot yourself down and say, oh, I don't think I've got the skills. You have the essential skills that you can leverage on. So I've labeled them as transferable skills, which you can leverage on into transferable skills into getting to a BA industry. And secondly, very importantly, you need to build relevant portfolio. As I mentioned earlier, when I was doing my transition during my master's program, one of the key things I did was to volunteer on projects. I worked with people on live projects just to brush myself up, to bring myself up to date on what is expected of me as a business analyst. So I would suggest to you, you need to build a relevant portfolio, volunteer projects, join the internships, do freelancing, case studies and bootcamps, such as what Bridge Tech is offering. This will help you build your portfolio, because this will help you create experiences to discuss. You understand what is expected of you as a business analyst, because you're going to be working on projects, live projects, meeting people, having conversations around who a BA is and the BA industry generally. And once that is done, if you have the perfect portfolio, then you need to also look towards certification. There are different certifications, different bodies. I think for the UK, it's the British Computer Society that is well recognized, but also we have the IIBA, which is the American recognized certification. You can go for any one of the two. The BCS Foundation, these both certification I've listed, they are just the entry level. With that will give you an edge between other candidates applying for the same role. So this proves your technical knowledge without the UK work history, because the entry-level certification covers most of what you'll be doing as an entry-level BA. So I would suggest or advise you grab one of the certification, and that will help you put you out there, give you an opportunity and a hedge for any role you're applying as an entry-level business analyst. And the last thing here is networking. You need to be able to network strategically. Gone are those days where once you apply for a job on career sites, and that's it, or any job site, sorry. You need to network. Application, getting the job these days is beyond just applying online. You need to attend the career events, make use of your LinkedIn, high for once. If I see a role online, I go into the LinkedIn, search people working with the organization, message them. informational chats, just make sure you're networking, because at the end of the day, the era we're in now is all about visibility. If you don't speak for yourself, nobody's going to speak for you. So you need to make sure that you're networking every now and then. Mentorship also is very, very key. One of the things I leveraged on was mentorship when I started my BA career in this country. I had mentors who I run to, where I seek for guidance to understand what is expected of me, because one thing for sure is no two projects are going to be the same. So having a mentor around, building a solid community around you, help you to thrive, help you to navigate the deep waters when you find yourself in one. So as I said, this also gives you access to jobs through referrals. I mean, jobs these days, for people who are applying, people who are job hunting, you understand that sometimes those jobs you refer to give you access more to the interview stage. So also the next slide, I'm going to talk about crafting a winning CV and standing out in interviews. So for a year, I just said basically on your CV, sorry, I'm rushing because of time. Professional summary, I liked it. I liked your analytical and communication skills, relevant experience. For the next stage, whatever jobs you're applying to, ensure you tailor your CV to each application, mirror the description language while it's remaining authentic. Quantify your achievements wherever possible. Numbers demonstrate impact. Then whilst you're preparing for interview, ensure you prepare specific examples, use the STAR method, situation, task, action, and results. To structure stories about problem solving and stakeholder is very key. They look forward to that in UK interviews based on my experience and other people's experiences. Whilst you're in the interview, ensure that you're asking insightful questions, inquire about their methodology, the team structure, and so on and so forth. And lastly, show curiosity about the business. When you're going for an interview, make research about the company, the product, the team, the people you're meeting. It helps, gives you an edge over every other candidate. My closing remark, basically I've got 4 steps. So the first thing I have here is you need to start now. I started from an accountant to a business analyst from Nigeria to the UK, from a non-tech background to working on diverse project delivery transformational results. This all started with a decision to change. Every single step of that journey came down to trying. Decided to pursue an MSc in business intelligence. I tried, I won. Applied to my UK first BA role with limited BA experience. I tried, I won. Pursued CBAP certification while working full-time. I tried, I won. And also applied to a prestigious government role I was unqualified for. I tried, I won again. I'm going to make a reference to this picture at my last slide. Also, from the start, I became persistent. I also tried and lost a lot. I applied to 50+ roles and was rejected, attended several networking events where no one remembered my name, invested in time courses that didn't directly lead to jobs, several job offers withdrawn due to visa restrictions, lessons learned. Yes, the thing, every loss taught me something. Every rejection refined my approach. Every no brought me closer to yes. The only times I truly lost when I didn't try, when I let fear hold me back, when I thought I'm not ready yet. So here's my final message. Now the skills to develop, the tools to master, the training and certification to pursue, the networking strategies that work, have an action plan. You have everything you need to go for it. Just do it. The only question is, will you try? Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait until you're 100% ready. Don't wait for someone to hand you permission. Just try. Apply, network, learn, grow. And when you win, because you will come back and share your story, help the next person pay forward. And this is my last slide. This diagram basically just means if you try, you win or you lose. But if you don't try, you lose. So thank you. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Tomiwa. I mean, it's been a lot of information, and I know that everybody is hungry to ask one thing or the other. But yeah, to help everyone get this easily and straightforward, I think I'll just ask you a few questions. I mean, they're all going to be straightforward questions because you've shared a lot. I mean, to digest now is going to be they might not digest it immediately, but just to help them have their thoughts in line. So yeah, can you just in a few words, right? For someone new to tech, what exactly does a business analyst do day to day? And how does a BA fit within a wider tech team? Just a few words.
Yes, basically, as a business analyst, no 2 days are the same. But what I would say is for day-to-day activities, basically, you need to understand, go through your calendar, understand, obviously, you're going to have meetings booked with stakeholders because as I said, you're going to work with stakeholders, both from the business part of things and technology part of things, where you have to ensure that you're eliciting the right requirement, meeting with stakeholders, following up. So day-to-day, you're going to have several meetings with different stakeholders. You're going to do a lot of documentation from the user stories, the acceptance criteria, populating your Jira board. Also, one of the key things also you need to have at the back of your mind is you need to be as sorry, what's the other question you asked?
Yeah, basically day to day, and how does a BA fit within a wider tech team?
So in terms of what you do as a business analyst, how you fit within the tech team, basically, what you're doing, as I said, you're serving as a bridge between the business and the tech team. Within the tech team, you're providing the tech team the documentation, the requirement you gathered. You're preparing the what's it called, the BRL, the business requirement document, populating the Jira board with your user stories, acceptance criteria, and also ensuring that you profile solutions to blockers in terms of whatever the dev team when having issues, and also making sure the stories are well refined, basically. So what you do is just more of an intermediary between the business and the tech team, and you're working with them, basically.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And the second one is around skills and tools. What exactly is the key skills or tools every aspiring BA should focus on learning first? I mean, I know there are different type of skills we have, Jira, Asana. There are a lot of them. Miro. So what exactly, I mean, if you have to pick 2 skills for them to focus on learning for an aspiring BA?
So when you mean skills, I think those what you mentioned are tools. In terms of skills, I think
tools, skills
for
and
me,
tools,
skills for me, I would say a BA must be able to communicate effectively. You need to ask questions, probing questions. Never be shy to ask questions, because the more questions you ask, the more answers you're going to find around that. What you don't want to do is ask questions midway into a project. So you have to be able to communicate effectively. Ask these probing questions. What we're doing this? Why do we need to do this? What the solution looks like? So communicate effectively, ask questions. Stakeholder management is very key as well. So because you're going to work across different stakeholders, they are going to meet the nice ones, the difficult ones. So you need to understand how to manage them properly. So those 2 are very key. In terms of tools, right, I would say, depending on the environment you find yourselves, different organizations have different tools. But for your process mapping, you need to understand Visio. A lot of people use Visio, so you need to understand Visio for your process mapping. Also for in terms of your documentation, you're going to leverage on the Microsoft Office suites. And for the project management, some organizations use Jira and Confluence. Some people use Azure DevOps. But I think if you understand one, you understand the other one. They are just similar but different. What's it called? Organization products. So those tools for project management tools, Jira, Azure DevOps, for process mapping, Visio, and the skills, communication, and stakeholder management, basically.
Thank you for that. Okay, let's hear if there's any other question from anyone, please would like to hear what you have in mind. You can just either raise your hand or just pop it in the chat box and I'll pick it up. So does anyone have any question? So what question do you have? Anyone? So if you're unsure of where to start, this is your safe space, right? Ask anything. There's no right or wrong. Okay. Thank you so much, Tomiwa. I think we're a bit clear on that. I'm sure no one has any question, and if they do, I mean, they can always ask any day, anytime. So thank you once again, Tomiwa. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your knowledge. I mean, we've all gained a lot today, and I really appreciate your time as well. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much. Yeah, sure. So guys, we just finished with Tomiwa. Then we're moving to our next speaker. So our next speaker is Basit Abdulkarim. Basit is a software engineer who has redesigned mission critical flows for major fintech and mobility apps. So Basit experience, Basit transitioning from biochemistry is bring a grounded scientific approach to solving architectural challenges and growing tech. So hi Basit, we are thrilled to have you today. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Abdul. Good.
All right, let me share my screen. Sorry, just give me a moment. Okay, so everyone meet Basit. As I've said earlier, I've introduced him. So hi Basit, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. How about you?
Oh, awesome. I'm well as well. Thank you. And thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us today. I mean, we've spent too much of time. We don't want to waste any more time. So without further ado, let's dive straight into it. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, your experience?
Yeah, just like you said, my name is Basit. Yeah, I had a BSc degree in biochemistry from Obafemi Awolowo University, and currently I'm a software engineer and I'm a global talent, if I can say so. UK recognized me as a global talent, so I feel
awesome.
I'm one.
That's
so
a good one.
I had the previous experience working in fintech, mobility, and also in edutech. But currently, I'm working as a contractor where I try to touch various industry verticals across the UK.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for very smart and brief introduction. So yeah, can you tell us a bit about what software engineering is, what it entails? Just educate us, basically.
Yeah, technically, engineering is majorly solving problem. Day-to-day activity in human existence, there's always been a challenge or a problem to solve. So software engineering is a way to solve our daily problem by creating applications or solutions. It's range from mobile apps, web apps, and whatever you can think of. We have also in software engineering, we have different facets or different aspects, say front end, the back end, DevOps, and a couple of other things. So it's really a broad fit, but majorly what we do is we solve problem every day.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I mean, that's the spirit, that's the goal, is to solve problem every day. So yeah, for beginners, what's the best way to learn coding? I know people always say coding is hard, coding is this, coding is that. So for beginners, what's the best way? Is it by boot camps, self-learning, or formal education?
Yeah, I won't say there's a best way particularly. I think the best thing is for the person learning to have self-discipline. So any path that you choose to follow will probably lead you to the right path if you are disciplined enough. You can decide to be a self-learner. You can decide to attend a boot camp, and you can decide to do internship. If you are not disciplined enough, nothing will come out of it. So the basic thing that you need to have is persistence. You need to be persistent, and you need to be disciplined to say, oh, I'm starting this. No matter what challenges I face, I'll see it through, and I'll keep at it.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, practical experience, right? What types of projects should beginners build to demonstrate their skills?
Yeah, this is really pretty dicey question. I don't want to use in the olden days. In some 5 years ago, a a a brief like to-do app will get you the experience that you need. But
Yeah.
In the age of AI,
Yeah.
you
I
need
was
more
going to
than
say
just a
that.
to-do app. You need more
Yeah.
than just a tutorial, following a tutorial. You need to start from your immediate environment, the problem that you like spot in your immediate environment. It can just be say you see, take for instance a Netflix app. You feel like, oh, let me clone something like this, let me build something like this. That is more than just a to-do app that, or a counter app, which offer the basic minimum stuff that AI can easily produce for you. But when you work on a complex project, like a clone of a project, or the problem that you feel like is immediate to you, things type of problem that can be immediate to you is, let's say you have you go for shopping every day, and you want to automatically scan what you have in your receipts, transfer it to a text. Those are like the day-to-day problem that you think that you should be able to solve. With the advent of AI, you can prompt AI to direct you on how to achieve this. That is more than just building a to-do app, because that stage you will learn how to scope a project, habits, maybe not necessarily the expert way, but you will learn how to divine your goal. Oh, I want to achieve this. I'm starting from this point. So that experience alone on its own, it's a plus for you relatively to any other person that you probably be competing with. But out there, everybody can be building to do app, so you should not be one of them.
Mm, mm, mm. But you're saying like they need to learn more than that. I mean, yeah, and I can agree with you. I mean, with the advent of AI now, you can just prompt an AI to do anything for you, and it's going to like pop it out. And
Exactly.
employers too, they know that already. I mean, so I totally agree. So what's a typical day like for a software engineer in the UK?
Yeah, I think life
I
as a
mean,
software engineer
just
is
for you.
actually pretty chilling. Cool. You
I
wake up
know.
in the morning, you drink your coffee. Maybe not every day, but basically what you do as a software engineer is the first thing, most company, depending on the company you're working for, but you have processes. Maybe you run Kanban, you run sprints, whatever it is. You do stand up. I think that's a pretty common. It can be daily, it can be weekly, it can be bi-weekly, I don't know. But the common one is like daily stand-up, where you report what you did yesterday, what you're working on today. If there's any challenges, then you pop up to the team where they can support you on that. And from there, maybe after stand-up, you have heads down to solve real problem, and just write code, communicate with your team members. Then from there, depending on the structure of the company, you can decide to do peer review, or maybe someone review your code, they give you feedback where you have to attend to the feedback. So in this instance, you can't work in silo. You need to communicate. So you need communication skills. You need to know how to communicate your problems, because you have problems, you have challenges, maybe not problem, challenges while working. So you need to know how to communicate them to your team member, your team lead, your tech lead, whoever it is. So from there, maybe towards the afternoon, you keep fixing bugs or continuing whatever projects that you have. Then end of the day, just chill out. Nothing more. Seems pretty
That
cool.
sounds fun. I mean, it sounds interesting. So, I think this one is very important because after you've learned, you've done your research, you've gone for boot camps, you've taken few classes, and all of these things, you are ready to get into the role, right? So, what challenge did you face when trying to land your first tech role, and how did you overcome them? Because I know that that can be a very tricky one, right?
Oh yeah, it is, especially for someone that is coming from a non-CS background. Not like, I did not study computer science. I was a poor biochemist, where my future probably is to end up in a lab, or to be a quality assurance in one. pharmaceutical company. But yeah, the basic thing, just like I said, discipline, focus to build a project. Farming QA, I think so. Yes. Yeah. So what I was saying was that, like, you need to actually have heads down to be consistent with whatever you are doing. Because you don't have a CS background, you have a lot to prove that you are serious and you want to do something. So whatever it is, have the basic understanding of the software engineering terminology. So I'll just mention one thing to know that, okay, you can put your project on GitHub. That's like the open source where anyone can actually see your commitments. GitHub has a trail that shows your activity. So even if it's just 1 hour per day, commit, have a project that you are doing at every point in time, that leads to, you might be doing something that you actually don't like. You can force likeness, but by forcing it, you have to be consistent. 2 hours a day, read this thing, commit into this project, follow through, because that's like your CV for a start. Anybody can just say, oh, share me your GitHub accounts. And if I can see activity, that shows that, okay, you are serious, I can take a bet on you. Because generally, the first tech job is mostly a bet to say, I believe this guy will do well. You've not proven yourself anywhere. It's just, oh, trust me, I will do it. But they need something like something that will prove that, oh, this guy is on the right track. So you can't just pop into anywhere that, oh, employ me as a software engineer without having anything to show for it. So your primary focus should be on having a project to build, even if it's just a to-do app. Now let's go back to say, oh, let me just build to-do app and put it on my GitHub. That alone is a step in the right direction. From to-do app, you can gravitate towards a more advanced project where you have to make real communication, where you have to say front-end communicating with back-end and learning all those stuff. Just like I said, in this AI age, it's actually hard for new learners. You need to actually prove yourself of you need to do stuff like performance.
You know, there's this thing that is very synonymous to the UK job markets that they will always tell you don't have a UK experience, regardless of where you're coming from. So how can you overcome that?
Yeah, I think with engineering, to be honest, the ball is a bit different in the sense that if you have a solid end-to-end project that you truly finished, that you understand how it's working, I think the UK experience can get thrown out. I feel so. You need a solid project. Take for instance, you build a habit tracker. That seems like a complex project. It's simple. It's not complex. You can build it on your own as a project, and you have that on your CV. Habit tracker is something like, oh, I want to be drinking water every day. I create an app to track how well I'm doing that. So if you imagine that complexity, it's not a project that you can give AI to build it for you. AI will build it for you in no time. But the challenge is actually understanding how the system works. So if you're able to build that successfully, any hiring manager that see that oh, this is like what I built, it will turn the whole UK experience out of the door. But your first step is to have that initial project in your portfolio, and it will be better to have more than just one, which will show that you've consistently do something out of the box on your own.
Yeah, just to add to what you've said, I agree, and thank you for that. I think another important thing to learn how to do is to be able to communicate whatever you're doing is quite important. I mean, when you're able to communicate it, they would tell you like you don't have a UK experience and all of that. Exactly. Yeah, so how can someone get that crucial first experience employers would want to see?
Yeah, that you can get it through multiple ways. One is learning, self-learning. Another one is using open source. So you can, open source projects are projects that's like, oh, anybody can actually contribute to this project. It might mostly like free projects. Like an example of a common open source project is VLC, who might know VLC. So yeah, people like developers that don't earn anything actually contribute to it by fixing bug. So you as a learner can also like look out for projects to contribute to. That can also be a record on your CV to say, I contributed to VLC, I contributed to React project, I contributed to Node.js, whatever it is. It can be as simple as actually fixing a bug or fixing a documentation, but I won't address documentation because it's just like you're deceiving yourself. You are not doing anything technical, you're just writing English up and down. Not to take it. If you want to be a technical writer, that's fine. But if you want to be a software engineer, you need to actually like either fix a bug, add a feature request to an open source project.
Yeah, I agree. And thank you for that very brief, beautiful and sweet response or answer. So finally, right, so if you could go back to the start, what would you do differently? I know that you have about a decade of experience. You have wealth of experience. You've seen ups and downs. So if you could go back to the day one, what would you do differently?
Yeah, I would do a lot of things differently. But then again, we need to realize that the landscape has actually changed in a great deal with the advent of AI. So the basic thing that I think I would do perfectly well is attend more events to actually connect with people, to have like minds around me, because that has a lot of impact when you have people that are like, they have the same orientation, that you have the same goal. You might want to drop the ball at the point, but when you see those people, they will motivate you to actually like keep pushing. So I think that would be something that I would do more of. And again, yes, contributing to open source. If the way I'm saying it, I'm not the best of contributor, but I think that can get excused because I have projects that I can actually show. But yeah, when I was learning, I enjoy a couple of free resources where I feel like I also need to give back to the ecosystem. So I did some little open source contribution, but I think I can still do better. So as a beginner, contribution to open source is a no-brainer. You need to actually like look out. But for you to actually contribute, you actually need the knowledge. So you need to learn first.
Yeah.
So
I think knowledge comes first.
Exactly. Learn, then from learning, contribute to open source, then connect with people of like minds. That's by like minds, I mean people that want to be a software engineer also. So you keep pulling each other, you pushing each other to the top.
Okay, so quick one, right? Just the last one here. What's the best way to network or find mentors in the UK? Because I know mentor is like very important, right? In tech ecosystem. I mean, you don't have to start from the base. When you have a mentor, they've already seen it all and it's just as if they're helping you to cross the bridge easily. So yeah, what's the best way to network or find mentors in the UK?
Yeah, the best way to actually network is go out to events, tech events, not just any events. Another way is to join bootcamp where you are certified that like people of like minds will actually be in that bootcamp where you have the same goal. Events, join a bootcamp, and even putting yourself out there on social media that, oh, I made you blah, blah, blah. If you are fine with that, there are a couple of stuff that you can actually get via social media too.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Bassett. Now let's go straight into the comment section and see. Okay, so Habib jobs, like how long does it typically take for one to get their first job in the industry? I think you must have answered this, but if you want to just brief on it quickly.
Yeah, the time it takes is not like consistent across board. Just like I said earlier on, it depends on the person. I can start learning and I get a job in 6 months, and a person B can start learning and stay 2 years without getting a job. So it depends on how hungry you are. It's on you. It's not on anybody. Say, take for instance, someone applying to, let's start with applying. I'm dedicating 5 hours to study daily, and person B is using 1 hour. We can never get the same results.
I agree.
Just exactly the same way we'd say person A is applying for 5 jobs daily, person B is applying for 10 jobs daily. They cannot get the same results. Even the rejections are actually feedback for you to say, oh, I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I need to tweak something in my CV too. So the more you apply, the higher your chances of getting it. It's a game of number.
Yeah. So it's more of like, yeah, and you have to be very consistent.
Exactly.
You have to
But I
keep
can assure you,
learning, keep building, and keep applying.
yeah, I can assure you, if you are serious, you are disciplined enough, in no time you will actually like get something good. It might not be the best of things that you want at first, which is fine. We all do something that we don't like for a first job, but your motivation can actually push you to a better place.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bassett. I think, yeah, we've gained so much of experience. We've learned so much from your experience as well. And thank you. So I'll leave the floor open now for everyone. If there's any question, please raise your hand or drop in the comment section. Let's give them about 30 seconds to see if anyone has anything. Okay. Thank you, Bassett. Thank you for your time, and thank you for sharing your experience with us all. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So yeah, that's Bassett Abdulkarim. Our next person is going to be Ujunwa Obuna, the data god. So Uju, hi, good evening.
Hello.
So yeah, good to have you here.
Yeah.
Let me do a bit of introduction so everyone will like have a glimpse of who you are. So currently driving that's Uju. Uju is currently driving data strategy at a UK startup. Uju holds a master's in data science and has a unique background in agriculture, which is experience. She pivoted from tech sales, in Nigeria to data engineering, providing that non-linear path can lead to success. Yes. So yeah, Uju, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about yourself? Let's get to meet you. Let's get to know you.
Okay, so my name is actually Joycelyn Ujunwa Obona. I work as a data engineer in a tech startup, Setford Tech, here in the UK. I live in Guildford, but before I moved to the UK to do my master's, I worked in tech sales in a tech consulting firm in Nigeria, then moved about 2 years ago to do my master's in data science and now work as a data engineer. I hope you guys can hear me though.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
okay,
sure. Oh wow, that's awesome. So yeah, the role explained. So many people hear about data roles, but don't know the difference between data analyst, data scientist, and data engineer. Could you clarify that, please?
Okay, so I'll start with the Oga at the top, which is the data engineer. So data engineers build and manage infrastructures that allow data ingestion, data flows, and then the cleanup data, transform data to ensure that the data is available, is reliable, and also of high quality so that it can be used across the business. So a data analyst takes it a step further by using the cleaned data that the data engineer has provided to draw out insights and answer some crucial business questions. And then a data scientist takes it also a step further from the data analyst by building predictive models, AI models, machine learning models to understand the business needs and also to probably what's the word now, to understand why to answer the business questions, basically. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. That's very brief. And I mean, I've learned as well. I mean, thank you so much for that. So yeah, how can someone without a data background start learning practically? What are the core tools, languages, or platforms to learn from?
Okay, so I think for a newbie in data generally, whether it is that you're interested in data engineering, analytics, or data science, I think first of all, you need to be passionate about data. If you're not passionate about data, go to software engineer or go to any other field. So you have to be passionate about data. You have to find the industry in data that you are passionate about, because that's what is going to keep you motivated throughout your learning phase. So if you're someone who loves music, then maybe you can start learning data through music data. And then another thing is to attend boot camps, try out, volunteer in unpaid or paid internship, and just surround yourself with like minds, people who are also on the learning phase and journey as you are. Then for core tools, language, or platforms to learn from, I think it differs from data roles. So data engineers would focus on database tools. So these are like your SQL servers, your data warehousing tools like Databricks, and then data pipeline tools like Azure. Then for the languages, it is SQL. SQL is so important. SQL and PySpark to manage large data sets. Then for platforms to learn, I think I would recommend Pluralsight. It's it's a wonderful platform. I think it's better than Udemy or any other learning platform out there, because when you sign up, they can give you a test to know, to understand your current skills, and then recommend courses that you can grow on. Then for data analysts, there are tools like Power BI, Tableau, Sigma currently, which is like the new hot thing in the market. Then for the programming language, data analyst is like a low code role. It's a low code role in data. So you don't really need to master Python to go into that role. You can just learn a little bit of SQL, but what you need mostly is your communication skill as a data analyst. And then platforms like Udemy can serve. For a data scientist, Python, Pandas, PySpark. You don't need a lot of SQL. You need the scikit-learns, the machine learning tools. And then for languages, like I said, Python. Platform, Udemy can serve, Coursera can serve as well. So away from just learning and mastering the tools, you need to be a good communicator, a problem solver, try and envisage your project, and then communicate both technically and non-technically. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And how is demand for data roles in the UK right now?
I think it's pretty high. I would say it's probably higher than most tech roles like cybersecurity.
Yeah, I agree.
Every company that needs to take control and understand their business requires data. So data is very important. And with the buzzword of artificial intelligence also, a lot of people need data to train their models. So a data engineer, a data analyst, and a data scientist is always needed. But I feel like the data science and the data analyst market is a bit saturated. And so there's a lot of competition, unlike the data engineering roles. So lately, if you meet most data engineers, they're probably in their 40s, 40, 45, because it was a huge thing in the early 2010s or so, but after a while it died down. So it's back now. So there's a lot of demand for it, and I really encourage, people who love data, who love to build pipelines to, give it a try. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because in my company, we're always recruiting data guys. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead, please. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Even in my team, the tech team, the data team is like the biggest team. More, I think cybersecurity we're like 3 people, but data we have up to 12 guys. Yeah. So yeah, you guys should lock in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what was your biggest challenge starting out?
Starting out in my career, I think my biggest challenge was defeating the imposter syndrome. Yeah, I have from an agri background, a totally non-tech background, to trying to code. Even when I had mastered the code, I just felt like maybe I'm a bit out of place. Maybe I should go back to what is familiar. So it was conquering that imposter syndrome, as well as figuring out what direction in data to focus on. I don't think I spoke a bit about my journey into data. So I had tried a couple of things, from learning Excel to focusing on building computer vision models and all of the machine learning models. So I think if I had like a mentor or something, it would have been easier for me to just know that data engineer was what was for me, instead of going through, all of that route and stops. Yeah.
Thank you for that. And how can newcomers keep up as the field evolves so quickly? With the invent of AI.
Yeah. So this is a really interesting question, and I have a really interesting answer. I think one of the things I would recommend is to read. So a lot of people in tech don't like to read industry publication. They only most of the time read it if they're in academia, but it's so important to know the research that is going on in your field and what people are talking about, different updates about probably new tools and all of that. So I would really recommend that people read publication, go to tech events to know which part of their jobs that AI can't take, and all of that. And also another thing is to network across, vertically, horizontally. So that way you're getting information from people and you're learning, you're surrounded by like minds. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So final question, right? What's one thing that you wish more people understood about breaking into data engineering?
Okay. I would say that I need people to understand that data engineering is not all about the learning tools. So it's not all about being an expert in coding. Especially with the way ChatGPT is moving now, ChatGPT can write lines of code in split seconds. So it's not about learning every single tool that is out there. I think one mistake that most newbies do is that they want to learn Apache Spark, they want to learn Azure, they want to be a master in AWS, they want to master Google Cloud. No, you don't need all of that, because the industry evolves very quickly. So a tool that you've mastered today, if you've mastered all of those 5 tools, there might be a new tool tomorrow. And so what is more important is to understand problem solving, like build your problem solving skills, understand system thinking. So you should be able to focus on understanding how data moves, why a pipeline could break, what to do for your pipeline not to break. Another important thing is to understand how to design systems that can be scalable, reliable. So those key technical topics are very important. So someone going to data engineering should not just focus on learning how to code in SQL. You should keep out time to understand data modeling, data pipeline, and all of this. Because most of the time when you go for interviews, people are not really asking you about inner joins or outer joins. People want to understand, what would you do if you want an API to get your data into your maybe data lake? And it's through understanding how data moves that you'll be able to answer all of these important interview questions. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Uju. I think I'll now leave the floor open. If anyone has any question, you can pop it here in the chat box, or you rather raise your hand. Let's give people 30 seconds for that. Okay. Kindly follow. Okay, yeah. It seems nobody has any question. Thank you so much again for your time. Thanks for taking us through this journey. It's been a great one. Thank you so much, Uju.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I think I see a question. What certifications would you recommend? I mean, sorry to bust your bubble. I wouldn't recommend any certifications, guys. I wouldn't recommend any certifications, to be honest. I would recommend building your portfolio. So if, for example, you can take a project. I mean, I like music. I don't work in music, but I'll give an example using music. So you take a project to, let's say you're doing a data science end-to-end project on music recommendation. So you use an API, maybe Spotify API, to ingest data from Spotify app. And when the data comes, the data is unstructured. So it's without base, it's probably in JSON format. So you have to write code to clean those data, transform this data, put it in tables. And after doing that, you build your recommendation model, and you put that probably in Git or any place you want to showcase your portfolio. That will give you a higher chance of securing a job than just a Databricks certification. So I would recommend building your portfolio, volunteering online. There's this platform called Umbena. I don't know if you are aware of it. So it's like it's a volunteer platform for people in data. So you can go there, work on projects, and put that in your CV, put that in your portfolio. That is better than any certificate. I'm not saying certification is bad. No, it's good, but it's not the most important thing in securing roles in data. Yeah.
I think I agree. Certification is, for me too, I don't really believe in certification. I believe in what you know. I mean, anytime I get to interview anyone, I don't really ask them for what they have in certification. Is what they can do basically in terms of practical days. Yeah. So I totally agree with that. Thank you for that. So yeah, if there's any other question, please feel free to ask. This is a safe space. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Uju.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. So yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you for listening. I mean, and thank you for sharing or coming here. So lastly, I think we're done now. Thank you all again. And we're planning to launch by January. I mean, BridgeTech is planning to launch by January. Can you hear me? I think I'm lagging. Can you guys hear me, please? I'm not sure. Yeah, thank you. I feel I'm lagging. So the courses will be taken by January's AI, software engineering, UI, UX, and then BA. So you get to explore how artificial intelligence power automation, smarter decision making, and new product capabilities. So in software as well, we build strong coding skills to create scalable applications and understand how modern tech system works. And for the UI, UX, you learn how to design intuitive, user-focused digital products that solve real problems. And for BA, you learn how to translate business needs into actionable requirements that guide successful product development. So once again, thank you all for coming here. I hope you learned one or two. And always be on the watch out on this space. I mean, there will be more of us. We'll bring in more experts to come educate us on the new trending new topics regarding software or tech. So thank you all, and we've come to the end of the program today. Before we end this, I'll still leave it open. If there's anybody that has any question, please feel free to ask now or drop it in the WhatsApp channel. Yeah. So yeah, if you have any question now, please feel free to ask or we'll call it a day. Okay, everyone. Thank you. And have a lovely evening.